Hey guys, welcome back. This week we're going to get personal and we're going to talk about personal purpose because your purpose is the foundation of you sticking with your plan when you start to take control of your finances. Your purpose, your why, your passion, whatever that thing is that you're fighting for needs to be visible, and it needs to be someplace that you're going to be able to see it, walk by it, and get inspired by it daily. And from a practical perspective, when we talk about purpose, a lot of times it's an overwhelming question. It's like, I don't know, what am I good at? What am I supposed to be doing on this earth? And it's a loaded question, and it's easy just to be like, I don't know, it's too deep for me. But I want to challenge you with this. And specifically, I want you to think about your past. I want you to think about struggles that you might have run into, challenges that you've overcome, pains in your life that were devastating to you maybe, but you still lived to tell the story, and you've made it to the other side, and you've learned a lot from it. Sometimes that actually, our biggest pain, ends up being the purpose that we were put on this earth for, because it helps you serve others in that same capacity. And if you think about yourself, when you have a problem and you want to talk about it with somebody and you don't know who to talk to, when you open up to somebody and they say, hey, I get it, I've been there too, and I totally understand what you're going through, you get this sigh of relief, like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm not alone. And when that person can also say, hey, I can share some of the things I learned from that experience if it helps. And then you're like, great, I don't have to figure this all out alone. That is partly why we're here, to help each other, is to give back and to pour out into others what we've learned. And I just want to bring that up as a specific topic when it comes to purpose. A lot of times it's easy to think about, like, why me, or why did that happen to me, or it's not fair. And it's not fun by any means in the struggle. I know for me, my personal purpose was birthed out of a terrible time I had with my personal finances. It was ugly, it was messy, it was embarrassing. It wasn't fun to get out of it necessarily, but I was fired up to get out of it because I had a reason. I had a bigger purpose that drove me to get out of it versus stay in it. And that purpose was my son, and being a good example for him, and being a good mom and a provider for him. At the time, I was a single mom, and it just meant way more to me to be able to go through some temporary pain to get out of that situation, to be able to be, for him, or a better mom, be able to be more available both financially and physically with my time for him. And that meant the world. So I fought for that. And the two were tied in together. The thing that I was fighting for and the thing that was keeping me from it, the struggle, together actually became part of my passion. And that's what I'm doing now every day, is I'm coaching people to find their purpose and to break free from the financial chains that are keeping them from accomplishing that or stepping into that. And a lot of times there's things that hold us back that are out of our control. But to the extent that it's in your control, it's a matter of reorganizing your finances, maybe having some paradigm shifts in your mind about what's the higher priority versus another and how to make those decisions. That's important. But the topic for today, the message I want to talk about, is the pain point that you may have felt in your life. Look back at that. There's a book that I read by Mark Batterson, Chase the Lion. And I'm paraphrasing, but it's along the lines of, if you want to discover your future destiny, take a look at your history. And it's crazy. We feel like our lives are so long, but they're really relatively short in the grand scheme of eternity. And we feel like we've lived this huge, long life. Like for me, in my 40s, making a career shift, but that's just the beginning. I was doing all my learning up until then. I was having all these experiences. Now I want to share that. I want to help people avoid those mistakes and those pain points, and come alongside and say, hey, there's a easier way through this. You don't have to make the same mistakes. And we love to learn from mentors. That's kind of what it is. It's like a mentorship. Hey, help me navigate this challenge based on your experience, and it's not like you're trying to help people avoid all the pain, but if you've learned something because of what you've gone through and that's part of your purpose, make an effort. Make an effort to volunteer your time in that space. It doesn't have to be a career shift, but if it means taking control of your finances, to carve out more time for that, meaning instead of having to work on the weekends or Saturday afternoon, you get to say no thank you to your employer because you have other things that are on your priority list that you now get to pour into others in that space. And you will find that that makes you come alive so much. So use that as your motivation to carve out the space in your finances to be able to have the option on your table to say no when you want to. That's what this is all about. It's being able to have the option to say yes and no to the things that you say yes to the things that matter most and to say no to the things that don't matter as much. That's what financial freedom is all about. Having options on your table, having flexibility with your time, flexibility with your resources, which is also your finances, to be able to pour out into others too. I think that life is way better with when you're able to be generous, or when your life is way better with generosity, is what I'm trying to say. It's so much more fun to give and bless somebody than it is just to live, to take, and to pay the bills and just kind of scratch even at the end of the day. So I want to inspire you in that you definitely have a lot more potential than I bet you think you do. Spend some time thinking about that. Ask friends, ask family, hey, what is it that you think I'm good at? What is it that you see other people come to me for? Think about that yourself. What are things that other people often say you're good at? If you notice that people are coming to you to talk things out or a certain kind of advice, that could be pointing you to something bigger. The thing that's bigger than you that you will be able to use to make an impact in this world, because it's way more fun to make an impact in people's lives than it is just to live and die for yourself. So hang on to that thought. Go for a walk. Maybe turn the music off. Sit with your thoughts. Listen to nature. Listen to the birds. Feel the sun on your face. And be alone with your thoughts. And invite God into that process, because He made you. And He wants you to live out the purpose that He made you for. So I'd love to hear what you're chewing on. Put that in the comments if you're thinking about something that you'd love to do more of. If it's on your heart, but you're just trying to find a way to do it, put that in the comments. If you're living out your purpose and you want to share how much joy you have because of it, tell me about it. I want to hear what you're doing to live out your purpose. I'd love to hear from you. You can also send me a message privately, Leah, Leah, @moneywisemom.com. And I'd love to also help you on your financial journey. So until next time, I hope you have a great day, great weekend, and I'll see you next week.